So how would you manage me? Do you think I'd be a management handful?
From a distance, usually probably the best would be to stay clear. No. I think that's a matter of, being able to manage somebody takes a long time. You can't just go in and say, oh, I don't know how to manage this person. Because I think you have to be able to know what excites them, what turns them off, what motivates them, what doesn't motivate them.
You have to be a real people person
and
understand
I
their
gotta tell you
talent,
that all managers everywhere have made mistakes managing people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the nature of being a manager. If you think you know exactly how to manage everybody, you're severely lying to yourself. Because you don't. So there's been a lot of things that I've learned over the years that I would never do again, and there are things that I would do over and over again. But for you, it would be, I'd like to, who cannot thrive off the energy? So, that's a big thing for me, talking about, thriving on energy, talking about, what is it that lights you up? What can we do to make that better? That sort of thing.
And here's the stuff, because I'll tell you something, this is interesting, I want to see what you think about it. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before, but I had an ex-boss. We went to happy hour, and as we got progressively more happy, I asked him I don't even know how we got in a conversation, but he actually said, I used to love it when you did this, and he described certain things, but I hated it when you did that. And I said, you kind of were in a position to have affected that.
The guy told me about that.
And I asked him why. And he said that he didn't want to, this wasn't the way he put it, but something to the effect of he was uncomfortable, he didn't know how to tell talent that. And he said, I haven't been successful in getting talent to be receptive to criticism.
Right.
And I thought at the time, and I can see that, but I thought, if I want to work here, I would prefer to know than not.
Yes.
I just want to know what you're going to take on this.
Well, it's tough. You don't really know, because again, until you know what makes somebody tick, you don't really know the best way to approach them. Some people are incredibly open to, well, I guess I can see your point. It's a matter, again, of how you say it, not what you say, and
You're not going to love being criticized.
You know what? But if they're not open to it, then eventually, if they're not doing something that you like or that's benefiting the station, they're going to go. So then, if you don't tell them constructive criticism, they're never going to get better. Then what's the point?
Well, and I think that there's also another thing that has to be looked at here is the level of talent in the city that you're in. You expect, as you work in larger markets in higher paying places, that you would expect a certain amount of quality of talent. So your view of what you can expect from talent is going to change depending on where you're at. The talent in Lower Dump Truck, Montana is different than the talent in New York. So.
Well, and Terry, chime in and see if you have had a parallel experience, because I just want to see what you think. But the times where I was criticized by management in any of my radio things, no, it's not fun, but you have to sit there and go, okay. But the thing is, I did want to know, because then you could turn around and do something. But I cared enough at everything that I did to want to be told, because maybe there was something I never thought of.
Exactly.
Did you
I felt exactly that way. And if you don't tell me, I don't know. Because you have this outside view. And I was always very open to listening to that, because I too wanted to improve, or at least to get somewhere where you were in a position to do something. She's laughing.
No, I'm laughing because you can always go home and curl up in the fetal position.
I know, and that's happened.
And drink wine, okay? And that has happened too.
Yes.
But it was so hard.
Right.
Even in cases where I asked, hey, can I? And I never per se got fired, because it's like you just wouldn't do. It was never that.
Right.
But I never got the developmental help that I ever wanted. I was hoping to be coached
Just
more.
seeking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
I
just
thought
kind
that
of
way
was,
too.
I wanted to throw you under the bus. And
Well,
have
and
you
again,
respond to that.
and we talked a little bit about that at our first meeting.
Yeah.
Was this incredible pressure of time that are put on those people that are in the position to coach. A program director today, compared to a program director who is in charge of coaching talent usually, a program director of, say, 15 years ago, that program director had one radio station to program. They were in charge of that one radio station. They had a staff of a marketing director. They usually had, a news director and a news department. And, they had a lot of people that they managed and they helped get the process done. Well, as radio has changed and consolidated and cutbacks have taken effect, you have a program director these days that many times are programming 2 and 3 radio stations in any given day. They're responsible for the content on 3 radio stations. They don't have as much time to say, well, Kelly, let's talk a little bit about what you did this morning. Tell me what you thought of it, and let's go through that a little bit. I got some ideas that you might like, and I'd love to hear your ideas. Okay, well, in that period of time, I've probably had to talk to a sales department member. I've had to talk to the promotions director. The HD channel just went off the air, and I got to deal with that. And the phone rang, and it's like in just that one period of time. And the ability, look, I think it's a priority to coach your talent. Did I do it all the time when I needed to? No, I didn't. I wish I would. It's a great regret. But you just all of a sudden
Well,
find,
your fault.
well, look, everything's in your control. It's a matter of how you handle it. But it's a difficult task for any program director these days to deal with. And there are outside services that provide coaching and guidance. But again, that costs money, and the radio station doesn't want to spend money on that. And unless a talent really wants to really improve and invest in their career and invest their own money into that, it just doesn't happen.
Well, but if you do set aside a meeting, go ahead and do some little bit of critiquing. That's my take on it.
But
if
clearly,
you're setting
Terry, with
aside
you, there was really
time-
never a problem. It was always getting a little flawless.
Deep in here.
Yeah,
Flawless.
I like Phil.
Yeah, right.
Phil Wilson.
Oh, really?
We'll put the links to all of your
All of my stuff.
all
You
these
have
stuff,
so
which
much going on.
Well,
Yeah.
here I listed some.
You listed some.
Let's see. Well, the Conclave, of course.
Yeah.
The
Remain
Radio
Calm.
Broadcast Convention, yeah, right.
Local Tone Radio. Minnovate.
Oh, yeah, I didn't talk
80
about that. Yeah, and I'm director of the ADM, yeah.
Yeah. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's-
That's fragmentation right there.
Yes.
That's what that is. It's multitasking at its finest. So.
It's fantastic, and we'll put links up to all of this sort of thing. And I just want to say that this was among many very lively and fun conversations. I'm going to say my takeaways from today were
Takeaways.
anybody grassroots and promote your pie. Anyone else? What else? Are you going to vote for those?
I'm voting for that.
Okay. Are you going to do your webinar again?
I don't know if asked to do, but my webinar is available. You can put a link up to that, so I can do that. So.
This webinar on social networking is really, really good. It was the first time I ever got really exposed to Phil, and it's interesting. If you want to learn about Facebook and MySpace and Twitter and all of that stuff, either from a business promotion standpoint or just to get into it to catch up to your kids or whatever, check it out. It's awesome. It's very, very good. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate being on. It's a wonderful thing. Love the dog. That's my takeaway.
And the white hair.
Big dog. Don't wear blue around the big dog.
No.